morning, everyone. Or as they say in Texas, good morning, y'all. Anyway, is there anybody here from another Unity? Anybody here for the first time? Is there anybody here for the last time? Anyway, you're going to have a good time because you're going to be regaled by the truth and the insights of Syntysche, Groverland. Look forward to this talk.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder, everyone who's joining us here in-house and everyone who's joining us online. We love spending time with you each Sunday, so thank you for hanging out with us. I'd like to talk about a few upcoming events here at Unity of Boulder. The first of those events is happening today at 1 p.m. in this room. We are going to be showing a movie called Resonance, Beings of Frequency, and it just explores the possible ramifications of living in a world right now where we're so bathed in electromagnetic radiation. So it's just a good movie. Come for the discussion afterwards. We're just going to be showing them right here on these screens. It's $5, and there'll be lots of discussion opportunity following the film. Then next week, we're actually going to have two movies. One is a shorter film, and the other one is still kind of short. The first one is called The Last Observers, and it is about a married couple of Swedish, Swedish ice and glacier watchers who've been observing for many, many years, and they're about to retire, and they will be the last observers of this. And that's a short one. And then the next one is called Chasing Time, and it's about a long-term study in Canada of ice glacier melt. And that's at 1:30 next week. Suggested love offering of $5. And it will be followed by discussion as well. So definitely come join the discussion on that. And last but not least, is Rigpa in the house? I do not see her. Hey, Rigpa! Oh, there you are. Would you mind coming on down here? I need your help with an announcement. Rigpa is going to be teaching a tantric numerology workshop Sunday, October 10th. What'd I say? Oh, yet it clearly says August in my notes in front of my face. Sunday, August 10th. It'll be $65. That's a Sunday, and it'll just start at 1 p.m. But you do need to sign up early so she can have your numerology prepared for you. I'm going to have Rigpa here explain it a little better than I do.
Okay, on the spot.
Got that.
I'm not sure what else to say other than, yes, I need to have your numbers a good 5 days prior so I can compute your numbers, which is all based off of your birthday. It's basically a map or a blueprint to your energies in this lifetime and what you've brought in from past lifetimes, what your obstacles are, what your strengths are, and how you can get creative about putting all the puzzle pieces together to remove those obstacles and live fully, aligned with spirit, aligned with your deepest, who you are beyond ego, essentially. So it's gosh, I'm sorry, I'm on the spot.
It's okay, that's all you need to say.
So come join me if you want to. If you have other questions, let me know. Feel free to ask anything, and I can answer anything prior as well if you're interested.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
We are offering this class because Syntysche had a private reading with Rigpa, and afterwards said, we have to offer this to the whole community because it's so good. So definitely check that out Sunday, August 10th. All right, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity today. So we're just going to come in the presence of this room and leave the world outside these doors. And this is a time for prayer. It's a call for prayer. If there's a challenge that you're facing personally or somebody else's in your life, we have pieces of paper that you can write a name down. And Steve Sheets, who's the head of our prayer team, will come down and collect them down this aisle and put them in the prayer box over here. And they'll be prayed over here in Unity of Boulder for 30 days and then sent to Silent Unity in Kansas City, Missouri for another 30 days. So you don't have to write the issue, and you don't have to say their last name, because we know Spirit knows what all of you need before you even ask. It's really just aligning ourselves and knowing there's this greater wisdom, this greater love in this universe that brings our inheritance, wholeness back into our mind, body, and spirit. So he'll walk down here, and we'll sing this song just to get into the presence of this room and just sing. You know, they say to sing is to pray twice. So join us. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you. So grateful for you. And so it is. Now we're going to invite our entertainment club up, and we're going to sing our opening joy song today. It's more of a mellow joy song, but it very much has to do with the talk that I'm giving today. And we want you to join us and sing with us. It's a very easy song. We are walking each other home, drawn by the pull of love. We are walking each other home, drawn by the pull of love. We are walking each other home, drawn by the pull of love. We are walking each other home, drawn by the pull of time. 'Cause love is magnetizing heart. Love is harmonizing heart. Love is unifying
Special musical guests who definitely, they don't need any introduction on this stage, but I'm going to do it anyways. We have Heather Blue over here, and we got Jamie. Together they form Raven Wolf. Take it away, Wolf.
Thank you, Michael. To start off with a domestic note, I remember the guitars, but I forgot the grocery list.
Oh.
Good. I do that in public and I'll get in trouble. She's too shy to introduce herself, but that's Heather. She wrote this song.
It's about walking home.
Let's try that again.
You're still thinking about the grocery list. I knew that would work.
Just a boy, just an old toy, just the blue guitar in the mind. Just a girl, just a mother's pearl, just a beacon search on the mile. Roll over, rolling, I walk the back road stolen, chasing scattered seasons on the wind. Walk softly rolling, my wheels are burning, brakes are broken, selling tickets for a prayer along the way. All over rolling. Just a man, just a one night stand, just the final hour on the road. Just a ride, just a place to hide, like the midday moon in the sky. Roll over, rolling, I walk up the back road stolen, chasing scattered seasons on the wind. Walk softly rolling, my wheels are burning, brakes are broken, selling tickets for a prayer along the way. Roll over, rolling. Many miles behind me, come across these desert winds. These canyon walls echo for a love that never ends. Red dust covers up my tracks somewhere between nowhere and here. tumble down out of the wind. Just a scar on the morning star, just a prayer to sing in the end. Roll over rolling, we walk the back road strolling, chasing scattered seasons on the wind. Walk softly rolling, our wheels are burning, brakes are broken, selling tickets for a prayer along the way. Roll over rolling, roll over rolling. Thank you.
Thank you, Raven Wolf. It's always such a wonderful thing to have you in-house. So great. That's a new one that you wrote, right? It was really good. Loved it. I always think, what a wonderful thing to be married to somebody that has that artistry and they can sit at night playing their guitars on the couch and go into that creative space together, you know, that togetherness, and to collaborate, you know, in that spirit of music, right? You know, I have a lot of friends that don't necessarily go to church, but music is their religion, right? And all summer I've been hearing them going to Fish and going to this concert, and they're like these weekend-long concerts, and I get it. Like when I go to, you know, something like the Folks Festival that's happening this weekend, I didn't get to go this year, but you are transformed. You're just lifted. You're connecting with something greater. And there's so many ways to connect with this thing we call Source or God or Spirit. So today we're having a sacred invitation. There's a sacred truth nestled in a simple luminous phrase from Rumi, which says, "We are all just walking each other home," which is one of my favorite quotes of his. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that we're fixing or saving one another. It doesn't mean dragging someone towards enlightenment. It means presence. And it means companionship. It means remembering together that we are already whole, already divine, and sometimes we just forget. And when we have those core friendships that are on this journey, right? And sometimes you hopefully have that friendship in your spouse that you've chosen in your life. But that friendship that usually is platonic but still chooses to love you over and over and over again is such a special one that I don't know that we revere enough. You know, we know that Edgar Cayce talks about the fact that we have soul families that we travel into every lifetime with, and there's these core people that we've been doing this many, many times with. And so I'm going to be talking about that a little bit because I love Edgar Cayce's work. I feel very drawn to it. My middle name is Casey, actually after Edgar Cayce, but it was when I lost my son that I needed to know where he went. I wanted to understand what this other, you know, this other spiritual ethereal realm was about, and I wanted to know that he was an illumination and everything was okay and protected and all those things. And I think that's a big question when parents lose a child. But that's when I really, really read and dove into all of his work. And it was just, as you're reading the material, all of these examples of these readings when he's talking to people about, you know, why they've carried certain karma into this life, which he teaches that karma is not a punishment, but it's actually a memory. So there's something that we probably didn't finish or complete in a lifetime before, so it comes back this time to be resolved and healed, because ultimately the human condition is a teacher. And so we're here to grow, and some souls grow in a lifetime, but we have free will. So sometimes souls don't grow in a lifetime and may have to do a little bit of schooling on the other side and come back and try it again with this human condition, which can be difficult at times. It can be quite painful, this human condition if we don't recognize that there's something greater at hand in all of it. There's tools, there's keys to the consciousness of this kingdom, as the Bible would say, but I think it's consciousness really, to recognize there's really a current that's always moving in and through of the spiritual, right? If we allow it, if we allow ourselves to be a vehicle of that. And if we're not experiencing that in our life, then we tend to have been blocking ourselves from this wonderful reality. So the spiritual path is not a solo climb toward perfection. It is a shared unfolding, a spiraling dance of hearts growing, stumbling, forgiving, and awakening together, right? So today we're going to journey through the wisdom of mystics and modern sages who all teach one sacred truth. We need each other, and we heal each other through love. So the divine companion in our midst, Rumi reminds us that love lives in the space between us. One of his most piercing lines is this: the wound is the place where the light enters you. The wound is the place where the light enters you. And I'm sure we can all look back on our lives and find those greater wounds that happened, and maybe it started in childhood, it may have happened with a teenage first love that shattered your heart, or it was an addiction that took over, or it was something where somebody abandoned you and left you without any, forethought that this is coming. We've all had those cuts. Life has those cuts, and it's in those moments. It's in the wound where the light opens, because it's all of a sudden we don't have it all figured out. We've come to a vulnerability where we are so raw, usually, in those places, and we're wondering how to move forward and how to do it better the next time. And some of us get so wounded that we just start to protect ourselves, and we start to put up a lot of walls to protect that we don't ever become that vulnerable in life. Right? And yet then we find ourselves extremely isolated and not walking each other home, but trying to just be protected from further hurt. And that's just simply not possible, right? Because in this experience, we're interacting with other humans, and some people realize that they're spiritual beings having a human experience, and some people don't realize that. So we have to look at who we're surrounding ourselves with. Who are we calling into our lives? And it's not necessarily a call out to the universe saying, this is what I want. But it's being the frequency, it's becoming the higher frequency of what you want to be surrounded with, right? So that you're an asset to another and they're an asset to you. And sometimes through the brokenness, we find that together and we keep growing in these friendships, right? It's not when we perform wholeness, but when we admit our brokenness that others can meet us with love. I've seen this in my life, in the soul friendship I share with my friend Zoe, a companion who's walked with me since we were 16 years old. And we've faced many challenges, divorces. I lost a child. She's had a major illness for many years. And the walk of, the fragility of life. And we both have children, and we both have grown children and younger children, and it's just the timing of our children all came at the same time and things like that. It's like you just couldn't really synchronize things up as well as the universe did. That like we had kids like 10 years apart and we both did it at the same time again. Like it's just like when you look at like spirit and how like it shows up, I literally have been able to raise children with her. And my husband obviously now and my other husband, but there's something about that sisterhood that understands what it's like to work full time and have babysitters for children and having to do and to so understand that you're missing out on one thing to gain something else, and then having to let go, and that whole idea of surrendering and having a friend to share that with, right? So I think about, all the many friends that have been that soul friend that's walked me home throughout my life, and there's multiple, and I'm sure it'd be a nice time for you right now to reflect on some of these people that have appeared in your life, and maybe it's not always a lifetime, many times it's just a season. They come in at just the right time to walk with you through a challenge or to inspire you or to direct you to something that your soul really needed, and all of a sudden unfoldment happens and maybe they kind of exit, right? It doesn't have to be something tumultuous, maybe it was, but you realize that they came at the perfect time, and that's what Edgar Cayce talks about. So we're going to talk about that. So friendships like this, or meeting people that have been walking beside you through all the ups and downs of life, Edgar Cayce says they are soul groups and eternal companions. Edgar Cayce described life as a journey of souls that move in groups, what he called soul groups, traveling together across lifetimes. He goes on to say, each soul enters with a mission, and though that mission may not be evident to the outer self, it is there. Each soul has a purpose, and those we meet are part of that purpose. From Cayce's point of view, soul friends are not accidental. They are part of a divine orchestration. Individuals who show up at exactly the right time to reflect, challenge, comfort, and awaken us. Sometimes they appear as family, sometimes as teachers or even rivals. But often they are those rare few who walk beside you with unwavering love and shared purpose. Can anybody relate with this type of a person that's come in your life and walked you home during spells in your life, or are still even with you at this time, right? And that doesn't mean that they're not our children, too. We can be the soul family. It's a soul family, really, and sometimes we play different things. Like my friend Zoe and I'm sure, were sisters before, or there's a mother-daughter, and I think she probably was the mother by the way she treats me sometimes. And it's annoying, but that's part of it, right? There's a way she just always has this kind of upper hand vibe to her. And my mom, since she came into my life, always said, you don't need a mother anymore because you've got Zoe. There's a little bit of a jealousy. Moms do that when you have really close girlfriends. But in the end, she loves her now. So from this view, the friends and companions who walk beside us are no accident. They are part of a deeper orchestration. Some challenge us and some comfort us. Some help us remember the light when we can't see it in ourselves, right? We've done this before and we'll do it again, right? So we might get it right this time and we might not, right? So you see friendships that might have come in and there's a real divine opportunity for growth, for an expandedness, for a chance for forgiveness that's probably carried from another time. And maybe we weren't ready to forgive yet, right? The biggest question in life, I think, when it comes down to it, is what makes us happy and who's left to forgive in our lives, right? Those two things are the two components of what bring people to a spiritual center. The other part is, and the most difficult to realize, is people's biggest fear is being alone on this journey. Loneliness is an epidemic in the whole world, but especially in this country. And it didn't start with COVID. It started before that. If we can all remember, 10 years before that, everybody was just on their cell phones, on their emails. We had so many activities we could do without this companionship. So the epidemic started way before COVID, but we tend to say it was COVID that created the ultimate separation. And I think that sealed it pretty gosh darn, right? It really hurt communities like ours, all communities around the country. It hurt this safeness in meeting strangers and making them friends very easily, right? We used to have a trust of one another, and we've just now cultivated such a relationship with this phone, this quiet, we've gotten used to being with our own selves so much that we've forgotten the need for sitting and just laughing your ass off with somebody else. Joy and silliness and, you know what I mean? What that friendship, dancing with a girlfriend because your favorite song comes on the radio and you just dance and you play and you hike together and you experience nature together, right? All these things are what make life so beautiful and so rewarding. So I started a group at the end of the services where we sit together and we share what's on our heart or share about something that was talked about up here on the platform. And last week somehow it just went south and all we talked about was aliens and UFOs. And I thought, did I leave my body and talk about aliens on the stage? Because I have never done that before, which I didn't. I just guess it was on the hearts of people. But it was such a fun, weird conversation, right? Like, it's to just have these, like, everybody in that circle believed in aliens and UFOs and things of that nature. So I've seen a couple, like, best friendships take hold out of this group, and now they're all friends outside of here. And if I've done that for two people to find that kind of companionship, I feel like I'm good. I'm complete. I'm a type of person that wants to put people together. Like, if I feel like there's a vibe that they could possibly be a potential relationship, I'm a Libra. My nature wants to create that camaraderie so everybody has somebody to play with in this spiritual life. To take that isolation out and that loneliness out of this experience so that we get to find that magic and mirror it with someone else, right? So Edgar Cayce says, if you don't get it right, we've done this before and we'll do it again. So basically, don't be mean to yourself because you didn't make a relationship that you thought was actually really good and you just had an ego moment. This will probably come back around and you'll get a chance to heal it or whatever. So soul friends aren't always easy. They're sacred. They are the mirror, of what we really need to heal. They walk beside us in both joy and karma, often helping us complete spiritual contracts from lifetimes past. So these are some of the questions we can ask ourselves to kind of trigger or remember someone that was that companion. Who has entered, so you ask yourself these questions, discovering your own soul family. Who has entered my life in a way that felt instantly familiar, like I had known them forever? And then you ask this question of yourself, did they show up at a pivotal time? What changed within me after they arrived? Who has walked with me through both joy and pain, and what have they helped me see or heal in myself? Have they reflected back parts of me I had forgotten? What spiritual qualities do they help awaken? Does anybody have anybody that you'd like to share today of a person that helped you walk back home to the higher self? You'd like to say, okay, we got to keep it like 1 minute. Here.
Buddy Gary, his wife passed away in December of 2023, and my divorce was finalized in January of 2024. We've been friends for 45 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anybody else have somebody special in their heart?
My daughters, Petra and Eris, definitely.
Nice.
And their animals and their babies.
Oh, I love that. Hey, you, I didn't know you were in town. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. My sister-in-law, we've been friends since college, first year in college.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. A lot of times our soul friends are our children or our parents too. So then we can turn it around and ask ourselves, in what ways have I served as a soul companion for someone else? Right? And I have a friend like that right now that I feel like I've served, and this person served me as a completely different person, where I've shown up for someone in a way that I know helped with a direction that was very positive, that was not necessarily positive in the beginning, right? So it's about that giving and receiving, right? That not only do we just receive from these companions, but sometimes it's at different times we're more of the receiver, and at other times we're more of a giver. Ram Dass helped popularize the quote, "We are all just walking each other home." He understood the deep power of presence, not advice, not spiritual superiority, but loving presence. He went on to say this, "The most important thing I can do for you is work on myself. And the most important thing you can do for me is work on yourself." this goes for all relationships, right? A friendship has the exact definition for a romantic relationship and has the exact same definition for community. A friendship is when two people agree to grow together. A relationship is when two people agree to grow together. A community is a group of people who agree to grow together. And what that means is I will take myself on. And I know you are taking yourself on. I'm going to ask you to help me, and I'm going to be there to help you. And if we get this right, community, friendship, romantic relationships, if we get this right, whether we stay in the relationship, whether it's successful or not, whether we end up together or not, if we agree to this, we'll come out of this better versions of ourselves than when we went in. Right? So we don't have to be heartbroken that it didn't end up being a lifelong thing. A lot of things aren't. A lot of things are transitory. But that doesn't mean that it didn't have a special impact on your life, the different people that come in and touch us really deeply, right? Henry Nouveau says it's from loneliness to belonging. The great spiritual writer and Catholic priest once said, when we honestly ask ourselves which person in our lives means the most to us, we often find it is those who simply were there. Who are simply there in those moments, right? I'm sure you're having all sorts of people coming into your mind's eye, right? It's like a flashback of life because we've all had a crisis. We've all had a difficult moment in life where somebody was there to walk with us through it. He called us into what he named the ministry of presence. That means showing up, not to solve, but to be a safe space for someone else's tears, questions, silence, and searching. He wrote this: compassion asks us to go where it hurts, to enter into places of pain, to share in brokenness, fear, confusion, and anguish. Compassion means full immersion in the condition of being human. And I know so often we're trying to stay positive and do our affirmative prayer and our affirmations and, look upon the positive. But there are times that we're called to go into the doldrums with somebody and be in and with that. Because sometimes just holding a space for somebody to remember that they're loved, to just feel seen when they're going through a challenge. To do that is to be of the Christ nature in extension. We're always here to give and receive, give and receive. And if nobody's ever done that for you, then maybe you don't need to give and receive. But ultimately, if you look back on your life, there's always been an equal give and receive within all this. In Unity, and Charles Filmer says this, our co-founder, taught that each soul is inherently divine, that we are not sinners in need of saving, but divine beings in need of remembering. And so when we go through those challenging times, right, when we go through the tough stuff, sometimes it's really that person that's next to you that's known you this whole time that's saying, you've got this. I know you're feeling sad. I know you feel abandoned. I know you're feeling, and I know that you have this divine power within you to pull yourself out of this. I've had many people come into my life when there's been that moment that I need to be shocked back to my inherent wholeness. We'll have phases where we've lost a lot of people, right? I had a few years ago, I lost a best friend of mine to cancer and two other people that were really close to me in this church, and it was just like, it felt like it was just a year of losing people that I loved that were foundational to me feeling safe in this world, to feeling supported in this world, and it was like, I felt like I was just falling and all these anchors were falling off of me. And I think I did about 6 months of sermons on grief at that time, till somebody called me and said, I need to take you to lunch. And at our lunch, she sat there and she listened to me, kind of did the prayer, what our prayer partners do, which is to tell your story when you're in pain. But then when they start repeating it, we stop and we say, what is the prayer that you have today? So that we can now work on affirming something to shift instead of sitting in the victimhood of and victimhood has a bad word. We are victims of things. Things happen that break our hearts, right? But at one point, this person looked across and she goes, but you do know you're the Christ, right? and it hit me like a wall, like of resistance. You know, I was kind of stuck in that place of grief. You can get stuck in these places. You can get stuck in energies, because sometimes it's like an old comfy shoe in a way, right? If you've had a lot of grief, sometimes it's good. You can just settle right in there and find comfort in it, even though you're wanting to climb out. But to be reminded, but you realize you are the Christ. You are the only one that can really pull you out of this. But it took a mirror of a powerful woman looking in my soul going, you've got this. You have this. And this person's had a current in my life, and there's another person here that did this recently sort of similarly. And those are the people that travel with you. The people that have to tweak you every once. It's kind of like the spiritual 2x4, right? We got to get a little readjustment. We got to get a little kick in the rear to go, okay, enough already. Your inherent place is wholeness. You've inherited that. So you spent some time in there and you grew something in you in that place. There's a rest in grief. There's a rest in pain. But now it's time to build on that. What is next? What is the next furtherment of this moment, right? So in the Gospel of Thomas, saying 70, it says it this way. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. It's kind of intense, right? But it so makes sense. If we have this something in us that we're not willing to bring forth, because there's incredible things to be brought forth. There's divine wisdom. There's a divine expression that's waiting to just screaming to get out. But if we're not willing to do that, then it's sitting there festering, and it's actually creating duality and sitting in ponds of scum and not being in a place where it's flying and moving through us, right? And so sometimes we need a friend to say, are you going to move this? Are you going to let this thing be the thing that comes forth so it saves you from your discord, from your pain, from your fear, from these beliefs of limitations that you are speaking into existence, right? So while we're walking each other home, it's bringing forth what is within, our light, our love, our true identity in God or spirit or source, or whatever word makes you feel connected. We help each other see the beauty we hide or haven't discovered within ourselves. Jesus didn't call the perfect, he called the willing. You don't have to be perfect to step into this Christ. It's a powerful thing. You're the Buddha nature. You're divine wisdom. You are all of this in expression. Claim it for yourself. And those are the kind of friends you want, is that mirroring, claim that for yourself. This is an exciting time because something's moving and shaking and energy, and there's a whirling of divine inspiration that's ready to be birthed in you. And usually something is very tough before something is broken open into an expanded energy, into a higher state of consciousness, into a higher state of consciousness, right? So let's read this again. Walking each other home is about bringing forth what is within, our light, our love, our true identity in God and source and spirit. So yesterday I had an experience with my daughter, Katya, who was in a dance intensive the last 2 weeks. For 10 days, she was at dance from 9 in the morning to 9:30 at night, and it's barely any breaks. It's for the best of the best. You have to audition to be in it. It was unbelievable. And I was worried about it, because every day she's walking out she's body's broken. It's so much dancing. But I was in this intensive when I was also in high school and college years and on the company and things like that. And it's just amazing that something like that is still around, actually, in Boulder, up at CU. And so we get to see the fruits of the performance of that on Thursday. And I just sit there, in looking at her life and the challenges she's had to face with some issues with a father and different things, and she's overcome herself, and she's had spiritual mentors that have helped her overcome her stuff. And I saw a very broken little girl around 11 years old, and she's taken her life, and she's taken it abundantly, and this work has worked for her. But I've been there as the mom that's made sure there's been the support she's needed. And then to become a dancer and to be able to express that into moody music and moody costumes and to be this expression of the creative. And I just sit there. I brought my parents, and we just sit there, and there's just tears of, I don't know, just gratitude. Gratitude that healing is possible. Gratitude that she understands that divine inheritance in her. And I have 3 kids, but she was the one that's been the most challenged. So for me, it's like I just want to spoil the crap out of her after that, like performance, all she was dedicated to, and never complain. And you're not saying all her friends are doing all these fun things and she couldn't be a part of it because she was just so dedicated to her art. So she wanted to go to the Folk Festival yesterday, and usually at the last minute I can get a ticket because I live in Lyons, and I know a lot of people, and every year we've gotten tickets like the day of. But yesterday we were online 7:30 in the morning doing everything we can. I had already posted on Lyons Happenings, which is a Facebook page, looking for a ticket for her, and nothing was coming about. And I was just like seeing her so disappointed. Like, this is like the ice cream cone after the dance class that my mom used to do when I was a kid. It's like, she deserves this ticket, gosh darn it. You know, it's like, but I saw her like starting to lose it, and by 9:30 the concert starts at 10, and I'm like, we don't have tickets. And I'm thinking, I've got to now climb her off the mountain because she is so attached to this. And at one point I see her, and she's got tears in her eyes, and she goes, all my friends are in there and I can't get in, you know. And I don't know if you're a parent, it's like, I'm thinking, how can we sneak her through the gate? Like, I'm like, I know there's a river that goes through. Like, could I put on an inner tube and she could like sneak in to get to the concert place? You know, like, I'm thinking all sorts of whack to get this girl because she deserves it so much. And I said to her, Katya, this is the moment when miracles happen. It's when you've spent 2 hours and you're so focused on something, and you're giving up. You're giving up. It's right at that pinnacle when you're ready to give up that you have to now move in faith. Move in faith. And I sat there across from her, and I closed my eyes, and I was like, okay, Spirit, this little girl deserves this so much, and I really, really want to manifest this for her today. And she's sitting there, and Mike goes, oh my God, I just got a text from a stranger. They have a ticket for the show today. While my eyes are closed, he calls the lady back. She's like, yeah, you posted 5 days ago. You're the only one who put a phone number on it, so I called you. There's probably 100 people on that site that were looking for tickets, but they called us while I was singing that prayer, right? Oh, it gives me such chills. I have no words. Obviously, this doesn't surprise me, considering the work I've been called to. But to see my daughter's surprise, she's still 17. She's still learning about all of this. When we were driving down to go get the ticket, she goes, oh my God, that was so wild. Like, it was like there was like a hum in the room. It was like something was happening. It was like something stirred up before that phone call came. And I was like, yeah. She goes, I'm never going to doubt that. That was insane, because that was the end. That was the give up moment, right? So it's amazing, right? We practice it. Brene Brown says connection is why we are here. It gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. And in that moment, I was the best friend that was helping out a little girl, because she is my best friend. I mean, all my kids are, right? Connection is why we're here. It gives purpose and meaning to our lives. She teaches that connection only happens through vulnerability, and that the greatest fear we carry is the fear of not being worthy of love. But when we share our stories, when we let ourselves be seen, when we hold space for others without judgment, healing happens. And this was my divine opportunity to practice the presence with my daughter when she's about to lose it, and say, come with me. This is that moment. How many have had that moment where nothing is working and you've hit that pinnacle and you're about to give up? And that's when the miracle shows. it seems to me like it always happens that way for me. I mean, so you learn to really surrender. You learn to drop the oars and let the river take you to where you're supposed to be. But when we have something like an attachment, like a ticket, if we're not overly using that, then we can kind of tweak the universe. But if you're doing that all the time, that's not how the universe works. But maybe like every once in a while, it's like, okay, Spirit, this one is really important, right? So I'm going to take you guys into just a short meditation, and let's just embody this reality of the companionship of not only people, but Spirit, and how Spirit shows up for us through the companionship of others. And to listen when people are talking to us, to see there's messages from one another. We are the outpicturing of this beauty for one another, right? So let's just take a moment to find stillness. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath gently deepen. Let yourself arrive fully in this moment. And now imagine you are walking along a quiet path, bathed in soft golden light. This is not a path you walk alone. Beside you are the souls who have walked with you in this life. Some are still with you. Some have moved on. Some were only here for a season. And yet all of them helped you remember who you truly are. Let that comfort you. Even your loneliest hours, you were never alone. Now gently bring to mind someone who walked beside you when you were lost. Feel their presence, their love, their quiet grace. They didn't fix you. They simply showed up. Ram Dass reminds us that the most important thing we can offer is our presence. Let gratitude rise in your heart. Now turn your heart outward. Is there someone in your life right now who needs you to walk beside them? You don't need to fix them. You don't need to carry them. Just walk and be present. As Henry Newman said, compassion asks us to go where it hurts and simply be there. Finally, bring your awareness to your own heart, to the divine spark within you, the Christ presence, the place where you are already home. As Charles Fillmore taught us, you're not here to be saved. You're here to awaken and remember. Let's breathe in love and breathe out peace. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes. Carry this presence with you. And let your next step be a step of love. And so it is. We'll take an offering for unity now.
Well, we have once again opened up and allowed ourselves to take in some deep insights into how to live more effectively, beautifully, harmoniously. Now we have an opportunity to give back and to support this source called Unity of Boulder, where we honor the truth that works to mend and heal our consciousness. So, I want to say to all the people that are watching this on screen, take some time now to write a check or go to the areas or go to our website and make a donation to Unity of Boulder, because you're tuning in to get the insights that'll make your life work more effectively. And we give thanks to everyone as an ongoing tithing person. And everyone here can bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And we can bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have Ravenwolf to share their music once again. Fantastic.
Building jumbo planes or hitching a ride on a cosmic train. Switch on, son, from a slot machine and get what you want if you want it, 'cause you get anything. Come a long way, changing day to day. But tell me, where do the children play? Children play. Well, you roll on roads over fresh green grass. Your lorry loads, pumping petrol gas, and you make them long, and you make them tough, and they just go on, and it seems that you can't get off. Changing day to day. Tell me, where do the children play? Children play. Boogie children. us cry? Will you tell us when to live? Will you tell us when to die? I know we've come a long way. We're changing day to day. But tell me, where do the children play? Children play. Where do they play? Mr. Cat Stevens.
Oh, well, I just want to remind you that we do have prayer partners who are located over here. They have the scarves that they're wearing. If you have a particular challenge that you want to pray with someone about, just remain seated as everyone else leaves the sanctuary, and a prayer partner will come up to you and pray with you, or if you wish, they'll go downstairs to our beautiful meditation room and share a prayer. We also have fellowship. In Fellowship Hall, we have treats and tea, everything you want over there. I think Syntysche is also having a discussion in the back. Is she doing that today? At the conclusion of this service, if you want to stay around and talk about what was spoken about this morning, stick around and go to the discussion group in the back of the sanctuary. Okay, shall we all rise and sing "Let There Be Peace on Earth"?
See if I hit it well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle.